Hey everyone, welcome back to Lumopop channel, your go-to channel for the latest breaking news, the hottest dramas, and the stories shaking the entertainment world. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our growing family. Because here at Lumopop, we don't just bring you headlines, we bring you the stories behind them, the truths hiding in plain sight, and the drama you simply can't miss. Now, imagine this: the entire entertainment industry holding its breath. A fragile peace within reach, a long-awaited reconciliation finally on the table. But then, in one single moment, with one small gesture, everything changes. Tonight, we uncover the shocking twist: Liu Yuning's secret mediation, Zhao Lusi near reunion with her agency, and the unforgettable refusal that left an entire room frozen in silence. What happened that night would challenge everything we thought we knew about fame, loyalty, and courage. In the months leading up to this dramatic revelation, rumors swirled like a storm around actress Zhao Lusi and her management agency, Cool Entertainment. What once looked like a thriving partnership, one that launched Zhao Lusi into the spotlight as one of the brightest rising stars in Chinese cinema and television, began to fracture under the weight of constant disputes. There were arguments about scheduling, battles over creative control, disagreements about which projects would define the trajectory of her career. To the outside world, Zhao Lusi was the picture of success: young, talented, adored by millions. But behind the glamour, a different story was unfolding. Insiders described the atmosphere as tense, even volatile. Meetings ended in stalemates. Negotiations collapsed before they even began. Neither side was willing to bend. For Zhao Lusi, the stakes were deeply personal. She had fought too hard to carve out her place in a cutthroat industry. The thought of losing her voice, her independence, her identity as an artist, was unbearable. For Cool Entertainment, the stakes were just as high. Lusi wasn't just another actress. She was their crown jewel, the star who had become a household name almost overnight. Losing her would mean more than financial loss. It would be a public humiliation, proof that they had failed to protect and nurture their most valuable talent. As the weeks dragged on, fans began to notice the silence. No new announcements, no public appearances, no cheerful updates from the actress who had once engaged with them so often. Social media lit up with speculation, whispers of contract disputes, looming lawsuits, even rumors that her career was being deliberately frozen. To outsiders, they were just theories. But to those inside the industry, it was a ticking time bomb, ready to explode at any moment. Both sides dug in their heels. Neither Lusi nor Cool Entertainment could afford to back down, but both stood at the brink of mutual destruction. Executives braced for the worst. Leaked documents, courtroom battles, years of bitterness played out in the public eye. The industry prepared for impact. It seemed inevitable that this story would end in ruin. Until, out of nowhere, an unexpected figure stepped quietly into the chaos. His name, Liu Yuning. To the public, he was already known as a gifted singer and actor, an artist who had built his career on raw talent and sincerity. Unlike many of his peers, Liu Yuning avoided scandals and backroom politics. His reputation was that of a man who valued his craft, who carried himself with dignity in an industry obsessed with spectacle. So when he chose to step in as a mediator between Zhao Lusi and Cool Entertainment, the entire industry was stunned. Why would a star of his caliber risk everything by walking into such a volatile situation? What drove him to take on a burden even seasoned lawyers and negotiators struggled to handle? Those who witnessed his involvement describe him as calm, humble, and quietly determined. He didn't demand authority. He didn't try to dominate the room. Instead, he listened. He listened to Zhao Lusi's frustrations, her fears of being silenced, her desperate need to protect her identity as an artist. He listened to the agency's worries, their fear of losing face, of surrendering their authority in a business where power is everything. While others had turned every conversation into a shouting match, Liu Yuning created space. He reframed arguments, turned anger into understanding, and reminded both sides of what they stood to lose if the conflict consumed them completely. He wasn't just negotiating, he was building a bridge. And slowly, against all odds, it worked. After weeks of sleepless nights and fragile talks, the moment everyone had been waiting for finally arrived. The deal was drafted, the concessions agreed upon, the fragile balance, at last, restored. All that remained was the symbolic gesture that would confirm to the world that peace had been achieved, a handshake. In the room, the atmosphere buzzed with cautious relief. The end of a bitter war seemed finally within reach. But then, in a moment that no one saw coming, Zhao Lusi refused. Witnesses described the scene as surreal, as though time itself had frozen. The outstretched hand waiting for hers hung awkwardly in the space between them. And she did not move. The silence was deafening. In that single refusal, Zhao Lusi sent a message more powerful than any speech. A declaration that trust could not be restored through ritual. That peace could not be staged for cameras while the wounds still bled beneath the surface. The reactions were immediate, and divided. To some, her refusal was reckless. A bold but dangerous act of defiance, a rejection of tradition in an industry that values appearances above all else. To others, it was an act of courage. A quiet stand for integrity in the face of immense pressure. Proof that she would not compromise her principles for the sake of optics. Fans debated fiercely online. Some feared her choice might shatter the fragile truce and reignite the conflict. Others celebrated her honesty, praising her for standing firm where so many would have bowed. What made the moment unforgettable was not just its rarity, but its raw humanity. For the first time, Zhao Lusi was not just a polished star on a pedestal. She was vulnerable, hurt, unwilling to pretend that years of conflict could be erased with one gesture. Her silence, her stillness, spoke louder than any scripted words. And in that charged moment, the entertainment world saw something it was not used to: authenticity. The reality behind the illusion. Think about it. How many times in our own lives have we smiled, nodded, or shaken hands, even when our hearts whispered, no? Zhao Lusi's refusal resonates because it feels deeply human. A reminder that reconciliation on paper does not always mean reconciliation in spirit. The story is far from over. Will this fragile peace hold? Or will her silent act ignite new battles behind the scenes? One thing is certain. This moment will be remembered long after the contracts are forgotten. And here at Lumopop, we'll be right here to follow every twist as it unfolds. If you found this story as fascinating as we did, don't forget to hit subscribe, tap the notification bell, and join our community of viewers who love uncovering the truth behind the headlines. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the smallest gesture carries the greatest meaning. Stay tuned. The next twist could be just around the corner.